Building an anime physique with calisthenics is great, but what sold me personally on calisthenics were the skills you could learn and how cool they looked. And while it's definitely a good idea to focus on the basic strength in the beginning, it's still totally possible to start learning some skills in the first week of calisthenics, right on the side of your normal strength training. So today I will cover 3 basic calisthenics skills that you can learn right now from home without any equipment. So let's start with the first one, the elbow lever. This skill is quite iconic because it looks much harder than it actually is. When you look under the hood, it's mainly about balancing and a bit of core strength. And it's also really good if you want to rage bait experienced calisthenics athletes. Just call the skill a planche and see what happens.
That's my...
Okay, but anyway, to do the skill, you want to put your arms in front of you, put your elbows on your stomach, turn your hands to the side or backwards, then put them to the ground, lean forward until your feet lift off the ground. If this is a bit too difficult currently, you can do an easier variation where you straddle your legs. This will make it easier for the core, but if this is still too difficult, you can also do another progression, and here you're doing the elbow lever on an elevated surface, for example on a chair, and you can keep your legs close to the ground. This will basically eliminate the core strength, but over time you can start working on bringing your legs more and more up until you get them to be about parallel to the floor. The next skill is both an effective core exercise and a cool looking skill. It's called the L-sit. Here you try to bring your legs parallel to the ground while holding yourself up with your shoulder strength. And technically it's quite straightforward. So you want to straighten your legs for clean form, and also you want to bring your shoulders down away from your ears to get a bit more height in the L-sit. And it might be a bit too difficult to do the L-sit with clean form right from the beginning. So you can also bend your legs as a progression towards the L-sit. And then every time you train the L-sit, you can just work on extending the legs a bit more until they are fully straight at one point. Another great progression is to use an elevated surface, because here you can angle your legs downwards, and this will make it much easier for the core. And then similar as with the elbow lever, you can start bringing your legs up over time until they are parallel to the ground. And there's also a supplementary exercise that you can do, and here you basically keep one leg in the air while the other is on the ground, and then you just switch between them. And this will make it easier but still give you a bit of time under tension, which is a great way to strengthen your core and learn the L-sit. Okay, let's look at the third skill. This is called the frog stand, and it's quite a good entry-level balancing skill because it's not as scary as kicking up into a handstand, and it's also easier to balance because your center of gravity is quite low. So to do the frog stand, we want to get into a squat position, put our elbows on our knees, put our hands to the ground, shift our weight forwards, and then lift one leg at a time to get into the frog position. And here it's important that you use your fingers to balance, so you might notice that my fingers, they move quite a lot in this position. And this is also a great carryover to your handstands if you want to practice these later on, so it's worth learning how to balance like this. And one exercise that you can do to unlock the frog stand are, again, leg switches. So you keep one leg at the ground, then shortly move into a frog stand and go down with the other leg, and then switch between legs and do this for several reps. Because this will teach you how you can shift your weight and also how you can get in and out of the frog stand safely. Once you mastered all these 3 skills, you can also challenge yourself by trying to combine them. So you start in a frog stand, from here you try to go into the L-sit, and then from here go into the elbow lever. And this is of course much more difficult than doing these skills in isolation, but I think it's a great way to keep your training fun and exciting. And if you're wondering how you can incorporate this skill training into your basic training plan, what I like to do personally is to set about 15 to 20 minutes aside at the beginning of my training to just practice skills. And here I do a lot of attempts in a kind of unstructured way. So you try the elbow lever, for example, then you rest a bit. Once you feel ready again, you try it again. So there's not really a fixed resting time between every attempt. Just do what feels right. And then After these 15 to 20 minutes, you can just start with your normal strength workout, as usual. Of course, it's important to mention that you also need to warm up for these skills, especially your wrists. So the training should look like warm up, skill training, strength training. I hope this video is useful to you if you're starting out with calisthenics right now. Good luck learning these skills, and bye!